And welcome everybody. We are back with another podcast. And today we're gonna hold two podcasts right after this one, and yeah, this will last until I think 1 a.m. in our time zone. And I think now just let's get into the first podcast topic, which is how we can control our minds, and what is the real power behind our mind, because this has been taught a lot, this has been discussed a lot on the internet, and there has been a lot of studies on the topic, but the question remains is, what are we really capable of, what our mind is really capable of. And as usual, Patrick and Domi are with me.
Welcome back, guys.
Welcome, everybody. And yes, so scientists are trying to understand our brain for a long time right now, but still we just don't understand it. We can't see it because it's so complicated, and while looking forward, what will happen if we really understand the processes in our brains, in our mind, because then we will be able to conquer more than we ever thought.
Yeah. Because like whatever you do in life, your mind will play a huge part of it. Like if you think about it, no matter if you do some physical work, no matter if you do some mental work, your mind is still there. Your mind is what controlling the whole thing, and that really matters. So yeah, it is really a key for, I think, for both a successful and also balanced life. Um, so just to quickly warm it up, what are your experiences with controlling your brain? So like, did you have these situations when you were so stressed out, and then you really had to settle down to control your brain to 100%, no matter what, because you were in such a situation?
Would you like to take up first?
Yeah, go on.
Alright, so for me, I would say that I'm mentally stable during my days because of like the power of my mind. That I can proudly say that I'm really aware of my actions and steps during the day. I am mindful throughout the whole day, so I'm present, and I don't have like distractions like that could actually ruin my plans for the day and like in the distant future as well. And it's all about the strength of your decision making muscles actually. um, I'm reading a book about this topic, as a matter of fact, and it's called Awakening the Beast Inside of You or something like that. And it's all about decision making and putting the effort every single day in order to train your brain towards a state where you have a mindful set of yours, and you are able to control every single detail that is coming towards you throughout the day and throughout your whole life. And unfortunately, most people really don't care about this at all because we are in like a constant flow. This world is quite accelerated. We actually don't have enough like awareness of ourselves, that what are we doing actually throughout the day. We are not present because of distractions. Like we always think about the future, like what's gonna be the next step, like during the afternoon during afternoon, for instance. When you're at work, you are worried about the stuff that are happening at home, and when you are at home, you are all about your work. And it's a bad like state of mind. It's not powerful, it's weak, as a matter of fact. And in order to survive in life and to evolve as a person and to work towards your goals and to reach them, you need to understand that you have to use your brain. It's all about using your brain and taking control over your brain, because your thoughts are one of the strongest things in life that you can make up. and we will talk about manifesting later as well. I would say so because I really believe in it. I really believe in the mindfulness that everyone should do on a daily basis. Yeah, that is like for me. What about you, Domi?
Well, I'd like to talk about how to make your mind possible to really get out of it, get out the most of it. So, like, what can you do that will improve your brain to be capable of really achieving the things that matters you? So, like, when we're talking about sleep, for example, it's really you really need to sleep well in order to control your mind, because when you're tired, then mostly you won't be able to think as much and really be aware of the things you're doing. So I experience this a lot of times. So, like, when I don't get enough sleep, then I will simply have times when I just flow with things and I don't control them as much as I could do, because my brain is tired to really control my actions. And I think really this practice that it takes. So no matter this is a skill really, when you try to conquer your mind, you know, that is what it takes to really know what you're doing. You have to be aware of the fact that your mind can be out of energy, and it is a muscle really that can be improved, can be destroyed.
Just as your physical one, like
Yeah.
your biceps, all stuff like that. Yeah, chest muscles. Yeah, you need to train them as well in order to evolve, in order to be bigger, in a sense, to make progress. You need to
Yeah.
work on that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. It's exactly like when you train your muscles, you have to work for it to become strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is no different with your mind. Just what I think is that, like, in your mind case, the biggest thing is that if your mind is like strong, then you will be strong, no matter what we're talking about. Because no matter how like tough the situation is, you will actually have the possibility to think it over. You will actually have the brain power to find out a solution for it, or to find out what to do with it. And honestly, speaking, I use brain control a lot, I think, in life, because I really believe that when you've got a stressful situation, when you've got a situation which just genuinely hard, your brain can put you in a position when you got that calmness, when you can actually make progress, when you can actually solve out things, figure out things. And honestly, because of the everyday stress we face with, I've got to use that a lot, because this is how I get the progress.
Yes, stress is a really important thing to mention, because it is so much in this society, so we face it so much, then we have to talk about it and find a solution, because what stress makes to you is really, it stops your brain. It turns on that fight or flight mechanism that will that will really
like your insider mode, like survival mode, your like
yeah, your survival mode will turn on,
yeah.
and therefore your conscious mind isn't really in control, and that is what we want to really use to really well be rational with things and find a rational solution to the problem we face. And with stress, it stops everything really, and so we have to make something with it.
Could I mention some stuff like
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
like as for your statement that you just mentioned, like I would state that there are two different type of extra stress throughout the day. One is like that you really need to look for, and one is that you really need to like try to actually close every single door that throughout your day that these kind of stress actually can come in. Like the two names like is EU stress, I would say. So it's like a euphoric experience. It really makes you anxious a bit, but it's like so it's like a motivational stuff inside of you. It's like when you're about to reach your goal when it comes down to, for instance, like
Yeah.
eating healthy. So it's like the 29th of the 30-day challenge of your like dieting and stuff. And on the 29th day, you have so much like EU stress, like this euphoric, anxious, motivational experience that I just cannot even like explain like so clearly as you can hear. But like you really need to focus on these because these actually in the end will give you so much power. It's like your brain turns into like an immortal machine inside of you that you won't be able to stop like throughout the day. Like there's the finish line is so close, then you actually can see, you can visualize the finish line, your goal is in front of you, it's so close. So it doesn't matter how tired you are, how stressful, how like anxious, you will get there. And it's 100%, you're going to get there, you're getting there. The other stuff is de-stress, which is those kind of stress that really ruins your day. It's like you really need to take control over these kind of stress in your life. And actually this like statement is mentioned in the book that I've just mentioned. It's really interesting. So like in order to actually avoid and like try to like make them disappear, you really need to face them right after you get out of bed. Like you need to visualize these stressful situations that can happen throughout the day. So you really need to like there's a theory that throughout whilst you're sleeping, your mind is actually making up ideas and thoughts in your head in order to protect you from future situations that will happen to you or not, or will not actually. But it's like a preparation mode, but not throughout your sleep, but before the day is actually going off. Like you are preparing yourself for these, you are facing them, you are trying to reacting them in theory. Then when it comes down to like the real stuff, when it's about to hit like the stress, you can actually protect yourself more beneficially and effectively. Like you could just or you can let your day ruined because you've done nothing against this kind of stress. Yeah, that was like the statement, I would say. Like I think it's really interesting.
Yeah, I think like oh, so especially in a situation when your mind gets you through stuff you've just mentioned with like sports and stuff, uh when you actually physically may not even be capable of it because you're not trained enough, but then there is your mind and it makes you capable without the training. It's really really shocking. Personal example, I yeah cycle a lot. I cycle a lot, but it's usually like 10 to 20 kilometers, so like not that long distances. And then at summer, me and my friend decided to go to Lake Balaton and cycle like 150 kilometers. Before that, because some summer jobs were in, I didn't really cycle, like not at all. And then when we got there, when we got to Lake Balaton and did this trip, which is 150 kilometers in one day, uh, it was like I had no boundaries. I had no physical boundaries because I wanted to do it so much, because my mind made me do it so much that like I had this huge dedication in myself to do it. And then it didn't matter that if I am physically prepared enough or not. My mind made me to be prepared enough. And when we're talking about mind control, I think we're talking about entering into these situations consciously.
Yeah.
Like decide that I will do it. Like decide that your mind will make you do it.
Yes, definitely.
So right now, the self-talk is really important. We're talking about what you're saying to yourself. That will change your, well, unconscious and therefore your actions too. And so, right, think about it for a second. You have a superpower, and that is your mind, because whatever you set your intention to, and really, and if you really want it, then your mind will make it happen. No matter the situation, I think what you really want, and you face it and work for it, then sooner or later you will achieve it. And this is the biggest superpower really in the world. So when we're talking about heroes, usually what they can do is use their minds in order to reach their goal. And if you can control your powers, then, well, you're strong, you have strength.
You have great benefits from that state that you will actually achieve in the end. Like control over your own powers and stuff like that. It's crazy. I can 100% agree with that, of course. And it's really important to be aware of these, like how strong your mind is, I would say, because most people, like I can safely say that almost 99% of the people don't realize that they have like an immortal machine inside of them, which is their brain. Their brain. It's like I feel so blessed every single day that finally I was born to this world and I'm a human, as a human, because I have my consciousness, I have my awareness, and I can control what I'm capable of and what I can do throughout the day. And I would say that this is one of the greatest possibilities that you can have. So please don't let this possibility slip out of your hands, because the only way to be a better person every single other day, you need to take over the control over your mind. This is the only way. You don't have other ways. There are no shortcuts. There are no like roundabouts and stuff like that. You need to go for it. This is the only way.
And in this century, we are told it. So we live in a generation, in a century where the power of the mind is known. They don't call you a witch if you can reach bigger things than others.
Yeah.
So right now we have possibilities, and you won't face hatred when you can achieve more
Yeah.
than others.
There are like
so
free information out there, so you don't have to pay for like courses and stuff like that in order to be a better person, in order to change your lifestyle and
So
stuff like
at
that.
this point, what matters is your actions. You have the possibilities, you have the sources that you can find, well, anywhere. And at this point, really what matters is you use them. And using them, it requires energy, it requires focus, and sometimes you will have to put other things out of your sight and something in your focus that you can really well sacrifice for.
Yeah. 100%.
And so right now we all facing huge amount of opportunities, and you can't be good in everything. Right now your attention must be focused on several things, but not everything, because you will be lost. That's for sure. So at this time, your mind, what you can really you have to see the boxes that in front of you, and not just looking everywhere and trying to find something, but going into the one direction that you set your mind to, and set goals in front of you, because we live in a world where we can easily be lost if we don't know where we're going.
Yeah, there was another podcast that I listened to the other day, and there was a guy who is actually he really concentrates on this kind of topic, that the only way to be great is to be mindful about your actions and your steps throughout your life, and he mentioned that the universe is rigged in such a way that when you're concentrating on several things, you won't get anything. But when you focus on one simple thing that you want to really achieve, there's an obsession behind those actions. It's not just like that. I'd like to someday I would like to be a doctor. No, I need to be a doctor. I must be a doctor. This is the key. This is the key to be obsessed about your goals and stuff like that.
It's obsession, of course, but planning this whole thing. So not just I will be a doctor one day. It's like I will learn 2 hours every day. Then I will go to this university, and then I will, I don't know, find somebody that will take me to that specific place where I can start my business, start my work.
Yeah, like a mentor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in these type of situations, you know, it's a huge ass of discipline. Like, you need a huge amount of discipline for it to make it through, because there will be times when it's actually when you feel like you cannot. There will be times when you feel like, no, this is impossible. No, I don't know where to go from this, or there will be times when you just don't want to do it, and then you need a huge discipline, because you're feeling you don't want to do it because you are overwhelmed, because you're stressed out, because you're tired, and then you need the discipline, and then for that you actually need to control all of your mind for it, which is just incredibly hard. It's like if it's stick with being a doctor, you've got that like you've learned 2 hours, and then you know that I've got to learn still 2 other hours for it, and then another 2 hours, and then another, and you need to control yourself to not be overwhelmed about it, because there will be times when you feel overwhelmed, but you still have to do it, and you have to push it through, and you cannot push it through with those types of tiredness and overwhelms, and also stress. So what is a thing we could say when we're talking about like building career, building a life, building success in your life? It could be a key thing that in such situations in your everyday life, you get these things through by settling your brain down, by settling your feelings down, and this also incredibly hard. This is like what we call emotional intelligence. I mean, this is part of emotional intelligence, when you can
EQ,
control, when you can control your feelings, and then again, that this is controlling too, and it's terribly hard to control your feelings, because it's a huge ass of weight in you.
And we are just born to this world with shit ton of emotions. So like yeah, the only way to taking control over them, your emotions, and to like really concentrate on your like rational side of your mind and logical sense, common sense, most of the times. You just need to it's really hard, but you need to concentrate on that side, and not just like there's a wise saying that when you are too emotional, when you have like overwhelming feelings, you shouldn't make any kind of decision, because decision making is not about like emotional outcomes, because then it will be fucked. You will be fucked because your decisions are not real. Yeah, because you are controlled, and you are not in the control of those things that are actually influences you.
Yeah.
You have to do that. And there's like another, there's like I believe we can move on, because we mentioned like emotional side of these, that you really need to take control over those, like over your emotions and feelings. What do you guys think is like the next advice that you can actually give to people, that like when it's about when there are somebody out there who are listening to this podcast, and they want to change, they want to actually be powerful when it comes on to like the mindfulness and mindset?
Well, in connection with mindfulness, I would say that the easy way to battle with overwhelming situations is taking just small breaks. So we are living in a world where we're running from one place to another and don't stop, because we can't stop, because we have so much things to do, and then we will be tired, but sometimes we need to rest a bit. And I'm not talking about one day binge watching and things like that, but just 5 minutes of quietness, and just really focusing on your thoughts, because that is really hard. So like, I'm talking about meditation right now. Everywhere they recommend it because of the benefits you will get from it, and that is just 5-10 minutes if you want to push your limits, then add more minutes, but 5 minutes is enough. That will make your mind relaxed and being able to make the right decisions. And also meditation will help with a lot of things. So like when you can control your thoughts and examine them with a rational mind, then it will have a huge benefit on everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. I can agree with that 100%.
And I would say meditation is something that definitely helps. I quite I think I do meditation like every day, or at least every second day I do meditation, and you know, especially in this type of earth, when we run to a place to another. Okay, in this case, to the computer, from the computer, but like that's another case. However, still, the world is still fast enough, and when you take your time to just think about yourself, to just think about your thoughts, to just wonder a bit, it can really help you settle down, and when you've got to do your tasks, then you do it with being settled down, and you will be way more efficient if you're settled down also. And as well, things can be way more enjoyable, because a lot of times we just don't enjoy something because of stress. But I think if we can handle it, and then like we can just take 5 or 10 minutes to ourselves to be calm, to be alone, with our thoughts and feelings, and then do it with way more motivation and energy, and actually calmness, it will help us to get used to the boring stuff more. It will help us to enjoy the enjoyable stuff more, and to be also efficient. And that's like incredibly important, I think. And when you learn meditate, by the way, I think you do not just learn it for meditation. You can take those things in action when you are in a test, when you are doing something stressful, because taking 1 minute even during a test is okay, to just breathe a little bit, to just clear your mind up a little bit, to just actually settle your feelings down, even in a test, 1 minute, and you will be working way better. And that's something I believe is really key. Like, it's actually key.
One more thing to add is in connection with maximalism. So I meet with this a lot of times when people are saying, and me also, that I won't start this because I'm just not good at it, and I won't end it with a great result. And I want to come up with the example of ours. So we started talking in English about things that matters us, and first, speaking from experience, well, I knew I started with no experience, nada, and with times I started to express my feelings, express my thoughts. I got better and better, and I will get better and better. And if I don't start because I'm not good in it, because I don't know what will happen, I will face difficulties, and I will get comments like "fuck you,"
Yeah.
then and I don't start, and I won't improve. I won't face the achievements, the great feelings that it gives you. that yeah, I put in the effort and I will get the results. And maximalism, when you don't start something because of you want it to be perfect, that won't help you along your way.
Yeah, definitely. So like, out of this idea, I can actually mention like 3 or 4 things that really matters. Like, most people underestimate the stuff that they can do in the long term, that they can achieve in the long term, like 10 years, 5 years, but they overestimate what they can do in the short term, a month, a year. And this is like it's like a great trap of today's society. We've made that up, that we are not able to do this. We are not able to reach our goals because like we are not good enough. Perfectionism and maximalism comes in, as a matter of fact. And this is one of the reasons we don't start. We are afraid. We actually fear these opinions. Second thing comes in, just don't care about other people. Fuck them all. You don't have to. Why are you listening to those ones who are nothing to you? Literally strangers. Who the fuck cares about those people? No one. No one should ever. And when I say this, and there's some people out there, when I say like, oh yeah, all those people who have like blonde hair, they won't be able to do this and that. Those people who have blonde hair out there should say to me, you know what, mate? Fuck you. Get out of my way, because I want to achieve my goal so bad that you're just something in my way that doesn't really matter that much, because you are nothing. This is the only way. This is the only way to achieve your stuff, to achieve your goals. Concentrate on yourself, boosting your ego. Like, you should be a bit self-centered as well, because when you concentrate on like other people opinions, then eventually you will be ruined. Like, for instance, every single day my parents tell me that what my dream is. I explain them every single day that what I want to achieve in life. They always tell me that, man, you are 2 meters above the ground. You won't be able to do that. You know what I say? Fuck you. Simple as that. I say to them, like, you know what? There was a child, like, 10 years ago, who had dreams. Real raw dreams. They are not controlled by society, social media, other people's opinions. They are so clear. They are so like their soul is right. Their mental health, their mental state is so right that it's like I cannot even explain like that truthful situation that these kids are in. Because when you're in preschool, like you've just started primary school and stuff like that, your soul, your mind, your state of like mental health is final. Is like so good to be true. And when society comes in, other people, like others' opinions, like of people comes in, like social media comes in, like your friends, your family and stuff like that, they are coming at you every single time that when you try to explain what your goal is, and they tell, yeah, you won't be able to do that, man. And listening to these words like crazy amount of times throughout your life actually can ruin like your goal. You won't be able to do that because of like this seed that they're trying to put into your brain. It actually will grow into something which will eventually make up a jungle in your head, in your mind, that will ruin like that beautiful landscape that you had before.
Yeah, so you can really fuck up your whole life just by hanging out with people without ambition.
Yeah.
And that's really, really true. So when there's also a saying where the average of the 5 people you spend most time with will be your reality sooner or later, and having inspired people around you will really benefit you in a great way, because talking about goals and talking about, I don't know, drinking whole night with people will shape and change your view of the world. So what you consume is what you will give eventually. And so people you hang out with matters a lot, because we are social creatures, and that is what we really consume. And also right now social media is what have a great influence on us and can change the way we look at the world. So we have to take a closer look at what we seeing on a daily basis, because when we face uninspiring things that will say us that we are not capable of reaching our goals, and we aren't enough, then those goals will be reducted and destroyed. And this happens a lot of times. So when you're a kid, you have ambition to conquer the whole fucking world. But then, step by step, this will reduce. And what is the reason? Why would you give up on your goals? They are there for a reason, to make your life meaningful. Really.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
External things can fuck you up.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
and I think what is also again very important is just to judge people well, to know that who you are taking an opinion from and who you're not, who you listen to and who you not listen to, who you care about and who you will never care about. And also it is important to know this situation specifically, because maybe somebody can give you very good emotional advice, but maybe they will suck when they give you a career advice,
Yeah.
for example.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's really important, to judge people well, to judge other people's capabilities well, and also what you want to take away from them. I always say that I create opinions about my things according to what other people say. I mean, I take the things that I feel valuable from it to myself and give myself to it and get the things together. And this also sometimes includes that I don't listen to some of the opinions or some of the parts of the opinion, because I don't think it is realistic to me, it is relatable to me, or I just know why I really don't want that. and sometimes we also have to understand that there is no one else who can understand our own self more than ourselves. And yes, you need others' opinion. I mean, I think if you only go to if you only go with your own head, that will make it up, because as we've just mentioned, you're not perfect, no one is perfect. But also you need to take it with a pinch of salt, You need to know it, what to listen to and what to not listen to, because if you take something too serious, or if you take too much opinions, then you know who will miss out on your life? You.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great thought to be exact. Like, there's a mentioning in the comment section that meditation is actually so powerful these days. I can agree with that 100%. I don't really want to get back to this, talking about this stuff, because I believe we've cleared our opinions on meditation. Like, but not me. I don't really want to do that because I'm not a big fan of meditation. Like, I do it, but sometimes I see it as a must, and it's not. Most of the times it's not about trying to be in a complete silent room and being with my thoughts alone and trying to figure them out, but it's more, for me it's more about bringing up my creative side, my how do you say, I actually shouldn't mention in Hungarian, but like when you like this apostrophes. Yeah,
Yeah.
like in apostrophes, like the insider genius of me, this creative like genius apostrophes. Yeah, of course in apostrophes, because I don't consider myself as like one of those like genius out there. But this is really important to me to be with my thoughts, but rigged it in such a way that I will eventually be more creative throughout the day. So this is why it's important to me, like meditation, to bring up my other side that most people actually can't use because of like this systematic life that we have. We are systemed into school, jobs, works, your whole day. We consider time as our driving I don't know how to say this actually. So like we concentrate on time too much. We shouldn't. Like we are scheduled by a system, and we actually don't have enough time for ourselves to evolve as a creative human, because our brain don't stop working throughout the day because it has to work, because we are scheduled.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely true. And
What shall we move on actually?
I've got a thought on scheduling, I think, which is pretty connected. So I think everybody knows those type of people who organize every single second of their life. Like everything is planned out to the smallest decimal, like everything. And it's really interesting that they seem to be the most controlled over their life, because they plan out everything. They control theoretically most of their life. And when you see these people getting into stressful situations, getting into not everyday situations, they usually are the ones who fail immediately. Because if you control too much of your life, you will be rigid. You will not be flexible. You will not be able to adapt to different situations, and you will not be able to adapt stress. Because I think what we have to understand, controlling your brain is not about having a completely organized life. Not at all.
Absolutely.
Because then you are not in the situations when you could practice controlling your brain. Because if everything is planned out, then you usually don't stress. Like these people usually don't stress if everything goes according to plan. But let's be honest, in life, how many times everything goes according to plan? How many times?
Well, here I have to mention creativity, Well, that shit is really a complicated thing because creativity isn't coming from focusing really. So what I experienced that creativity is just simply accepting the fact that your brain is working and without effort, without actually controlling it, you just showing, you just uh, giving it to the world. So when you, I don't know, paint something, you sometimes you don't have to plan it out. You just start and things will work out. And also playing a random play like a drama, like in a drama club, the best things will come from when you don't stress it, when you don't put effort, but just let it flow out. And the best things, the best experiences I had are came from the situations where we just used our, well, spontaneous thinking. When you just jump into situations without any planning and see what will happen. And this is also a way of controlling your mind to let it work, to stop controlling your mind, really, if you think about it.
It's like paradox right now a little bit. Like in order to take control over your mind, you need to forget about taking control over your mind at the same time.
Yeah.
It's something like that. I believe that we can actually put it in a way that in order to let your mind be powerful, sometimes you need to take in seconds of free flow in order to refresh, in order to let your brain be a little around a little bit out there and just have it playing with your thoughts and stuff like that, because it really refreshes your system, and then you can actually get focused again. You can get back to that full state of mind, that full control over your mind. So you need to let your mind be a little bit free as well. It's not about caging in your mind. It's not about scheduling every single steps that you're gonna take. It's about adaptation and being able to react to the actions you've mentioned. Roland, you've mentioned that.
Yeah. To just a quick thought to that, I think it's important to highlight that under reaction, it's usually not an emotional reaction. It's a proactive reaction, something that you could do, because a lot of people assume that if they react to the situation, if they put their feelings into the situation, then that's it.
Fuck no. We've mentioned before, guys, that feelings cannot come into this idea. We've stated that before. Forget about your feelings, emotions. Fuck them.
Sometimes you will use them, but
not in those situations when you have to make progress, when you have to take actions, when you have to make decisions. Decision making is not about feelings, it's about logical sense and common sense.
Yeah.
Because the outcome is important when you're about to take decisions. The unfortunate thing that these days, I would say, we tend to use the phrase decision making decision. I believe, in a sense, we use it too much, because a decision should be strong, and the decision should bring in action at the same time. So it's not like that, yeah, I should make like a decision about whether I'm going to study in the next 2 hours or not. Let's decide that I will. Then you're still procrastinating on social media. Yeah, it's simple as that. Decision making is not about. It's not about making your mind and your state be comfortable, in a sense that, yeah, I've just decided that I will study for 2 hours. I've just decided. It's made, it's established. Amen. But on the other hand, you're not doing a shit because you didn't bring in action. Action is the other key thing in life. Taking actions. We can talk about this stuff theoretic.
Theoretically.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, so like that, we can do this stuff, that the phrase you just mentioned, but in order to in order to avoid being in a pit of like acid where we are actually burning because of our decisions, we just simply should take actions. And most people are afraid of taking actions because that you've mentioned, because most people are most people want to be perfect. They want to be maximalist and stuff like that, because this is what they see on social media, the perfect shit. Like, this is the most perfect shit that ever existed in human history, is social media, because most people post pictures about their most happy, like the happiest, the most comfortable, like the most delightful happenings of their lives. They don't share the shitty days.
And also sharing these pictures about the most delightful times, with a bit of change, using Photoshop, using Lightroom.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, definitely.
So
yeah.
not the most delightful things, with a little extra also, that won't happen in real life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Like that. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
like social media is just not real.
It's not.
It's just
And it's not really social neither.
yeah.
It's just media, right?
Yeah. And just this example, you definitely saw people putting that, hey, I run the half marathon, or hey, I run the marathon, yay, how fucking cool. And everybody goes like, oh, wow, I can never do that, wow, how easy this is for them, and they just did it. And what they don't say is that maybe that person was training for the marathon for like years and years, because you don't put out that, or like most of the people don't put out that how long they are training for it. They just put out the outcome. You just see the outcome, and you don't see the process, and you don't see how hard it is actually, and how much they fought to reach that goal of theirs. You can just easily go jealous and, hey, how good this is for them, I can never do that, blah 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 blah. And you know what, a sentence I really hate from people, and I hear it a lot: how easy this is for you. It's so easy for you, but me, I can't. I heard that so many times, and it's just, if we're talking about something, it is usually the same hard for people, if we don't consider specific situations, of course, generally speaking.
And also we all facing our wars. So we all have different difficulties in life. So what we can see is this person run the marathon, and maybe with him training 1 year, would take me 2 years with the same effort because of my, I don't know, body build, because of my build. But seeing another thing, I will be better in something, anything, like that person. So we are different, and that's what is the most perfect thing in the world. That we are not robots, we are not the same person, and nothing can change it. If so, we have personality types, we have traits that other people don't, and building these up will so this situation, this work will count in your life, not comparing yourself to others. And I think I've mentioned here the keyword. Comparing won't get you closer to your goals. They've reached something, and by seeing what they're doing, the only thing that will be useful for you is getting advice how they did it, not just saying that, wow, that's some impressive shit.
You like the hard work behind the achievements of them. This is what you can actually take lessons. It's like putting in the hard work, like shit amount of time that they've put into this project that they actually finished. And it's one of the most significant things in life to concentrate on yourself as an individual, because you are not born to this world with the same talents, you're not born to this world with the same opportunities, but you are born to this world with the same condition, which is your brain, which is you are sentenced to death as well as all the other people in the world. Every single people's time is limited, so the only way to keep you motivated and keep you in a disciplined state is to focus on your strong personal characteristics. This is the only way. You shouldn't concentrate on your stuff that you actually don't even care about, or stuff that you are bad at it, because trying to improve in stuff that you are bad at it could be significant when it comes down to those situations when it's needed. It's like mandatory stuff, like communication. You really need to improve your communication skills, because we communicate on daily basis. We are every single time we negotiate as well. So negotiation skills and communication skills are needed. If you're bad at it, you should improve in it. But when it comes down to stuff like throwing ball, shit like that, you don't need that in your life if you won't be like a basketball player, like handball player, stuff like that. Concentrate on your strong points and characteristics, and then you will be fine in the end. But the real question is how to find those characteristics that you actually have the most strong points in. Simple as that. You need to try every single thing. Of course you can try every single thing that is in existence in the world right now, but most of it you should.
Yeah, so just saying yes more often to opportunities.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. And previously you've been mentioning being spontaneous, and I think everybody is spontaneous. Everybody is spontaneous. The real thing is that there are people who are spontaneous and face fears, and they try out new things with their fears as well. Because people who don't get into the new things, it's not because they are not spontaneous. It's not because they don't want to. If we talk about something good, of course. So it's not because they don't want to. It's because they are afraid, and they cannot control their fear. Because this is the typical question of, do you control your fears or the fears control you? And in most of the situations, I think the second one is the true. I mean, for most of the people, and that's the problem. You should control your fears. You should control your life, because the only person, whatever happens, can take action is you. Of course, people can help. Of course, you can listen to people and stuff. But what is important is that at the end of the day, you will do the action. At the end of the day, you will take control. The question is if you actually ready for it, if you actually do it.
Yeah, and we've been talking about this for like, I believe 1.5 hours, maybe. I don't think so. I don't know the exact time right now.
Yeah,
About that, right?
and getting close to that.
Yeah, but it sounds so easy, like theoretically. You could say that. Holy shit. I'm proud of myself.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I'm proud of myself.
Please repeat it.
Yeah, I can. Theoretically. Yes.
Yeah.
Fuck yes. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you. Yeah. So like we've been mentioning this stuff like for a day right now. It feels like a day for me, as a matter of fact, right now, that we've been talking about this like for hours and hours, but like in fact it seems to be easy, but it's not. Like it's fucking hard, man. You need to realize that taking control over yourself is one of those things that it's harder than school. It's like more like difficult than anything else that you've been doing in your life.
Well, it can be compared to other things, because everything that's in your life will happen because of your actions, and your actions are happening because of your thoughts, and your thoughts are happening because of your mind. So the place where you're at this point is just because of your mind and your actions and your decisions. And so when you mentioned school, I was like, it can be compared, because school is, how hard is school is dependent on your mind controlling things. Because when you can make the decisions to learn for hours, when you can set your focus on the things that you want to learn, then school will be easier.
Yeah, maybe. School is fucking hard, to be honest. And I know that I'm aware of myself. I know that I can control my mind. But I believe school can be compared to this, because school is an external thing that you can't control. You can control school. You have to accept the amount of stuff that you have to learn. You have to accept what the teacher says. You have to accept what the system provides for you, what is provided. And you will try to expand your control, but it's limited. And this limitation is quite close to nothing. Like that you can control, like when it comes down to school. Yes, you can control the hours of your learning, studying and stuff like that, the sessions, but you can control, but you can't control like the amount of work that you have to put in every single day. And I believe it's fucked. And this is why school is so hard, because we have so much to do that the time that we actually try to set to this isn't enough. And whether it's 5 hours, 10 hours, 6 hours, 12 hours, a week, half a year, because the school system is built up in a sense. I don't really want to get into this, but every single time that we are like learning, there's a new topic, we learn it, then comes the test. And it's a repetitive action. Every single week there's a new stuff that you need to learn. Shit amount of stuff. And this is why I believe school is really hard, because there's no brief, like a simple brief second that you can enjoy, because your mind actually has to work every single time whilst you're in school. And this is why I believe school is really hard, and this is why school kills creativity as well, in a sense that your mind won't stop because of these long learning sessions that you have to take, because there's a shit ton amount of like topics and information that you need to memorize. And this is why it's really like hard, I would say so. And yes, you can control the stuff that like you are capable of, like how long you will be learning for school and stuff like that, but you can't control those stuff that are actually there. These are rooted in the system so much that you just actually can't move them to the right or the left, because it is what it is. You have to accept it, you have to embrace it, and you actually can't work like against it, because you don't have like the possibilities neither. This is why I believe school can be, in a sense, a good example for this, because yeah, the stuff I've just mentioned. This is my idea like about school and why we can compare this, but you don't have to accept it, of course.
Well said. So they are in connection, that's for sure. So if you have a weak mind, then it will be harder. And of course this school is fucking hard right now, because of the stress, because of the energy and effort you have to put in, even if you don't want to and you don't really need to. You don't really know why you're doing it, just because of some shitty test.
Yeah.
That's the real question of this. What will motivate you to do something? Because when you don't know the why you're doing it, then things will get harder and harder.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. You have to set goals in negative stuff as well, in order to make you push more harder to get there. Of course, it will get harder as well, because you lose motivation and discipline for when it comes out to, for instance, like school, because you lack motivation, because you are not interested at all. Yeah, what's that?
So how long were we talking about? Just the...
Oh yeah, I think we're getting close to the end.
Yeah. So yeah, shall we end this as a matter of fact? So like,
Yeah.
There should be like an open statement here. So what could be like a good comparison to this topic? Like how hard, like taking control over your mind, then what would be the great example for this, like comparing stuff like that? Because like, yeah, this is the root of everything, this is like the seed of everything that's around you. Yeah, you've mentioned that clearly, and it is 100% true, I would say. But there should be like a comparison. So I would say that this is one of those things in life that if you don't do, forget your like goals and stuff like that, because you won't be able to get there, because you will be weak, you will be pushed side to side, you will be like in a roller coaster, you will be like in a like, I've read that in that book as well, that there's like a phrase like Niagara syndrome, when you're in a river and the flow is like pushing you like sideways, forward, other ways as well, but you actually don't have the ability to trying to get your hand on stuff, because there are no like other routes and stuff like that. And there will be, in the end, if you don't work against like the flow, so you don't try to swim against that hard push that really makes you like stressful, terrified and stuff like that. Because as we all know that when we mention Niagara, there is a huge waterfall in the end, and this waterfall is actually a metaphor for the end of your life. And the Niagara is like life. You start from the very beginning, you are born to this world, and this flow actually comes in. You are instantly in a flow, and if you don't work against it, you will never get to the landscape. You will never have your feet on the ground if you don't take control over your fears that you have to swim against the flow. And yeah, I believe it's like a good idea here. So in a nutshell, to trying to sum it up a little bit, my ideas, because it was so distracted sometimes, like, you have to do this. It's fucking hard. It's one of those things that cannot be compared to anything, literally. This like difficulty that you have to face, but this is the only way, and it's worth it, I would say.
And we've been talking about it in theory, so we can't really advise you the exact things to do, because it's personal question. These are personal questions. So my advice in our podcast is really to put in reality what we've been talking about, and try to find opportunities where you can actually use it, not just talking about like we did for a long time, but actually use it.
Yeah. Can I say my advice as well?
Yeah.
And then you can add yours as well, and we can end this shit. All right. So like my advice would be for you guys, like in action. It's like in practice, to just make that fucking decision. Be aware of what you've just stated about decision. What is inside of that specific statement that you've just mentioned as a decision. Then execute it. This is the only way. You need to take real actions. It's not about tiny little bit steps. It's about real goddamn actions. This is the only way. No shortcuts, no roundabouts, no other routes.
Also, I think it will be a little bit contrary to what I want to say, but also I think it is okay to go by tiny steps. Sometimes you have to go by tiny steps, and when you realize that, like, hey, this is a situation where I got to control myself for the first time, you won't jump right away where you straight up just control all the stress and everything is alright in 5 minutes. No shit. You will go in small steps forward every situation, and what is the key is to remind yourself in every situation that, hey, I need to take control.
This is not how I try to like emphasize it, like tiny steps. These tiny steps actually were like a great like explanation for those steps that are not necessary. Like, of course you won't be able to do that like in a split second. No shit. 100% true that you've just mentioned. Like, this is the stuff that I've mentioned. Like, it's in the long term. It's for your long-term future. It's not for the short-term stuff. And we are just practicing it right now as well. We are not professionals. We are not like those people who actually can be aware of themselves 24/7.
Yeah.
We don't want to be hypocrites. I fuck up every single fucking day as well, just as you. Just
And me.
just like
Just like,
lesser times.
and it will get lesser and lesser.
Yeah, definitely.
And just a quick comment that, like, yes, tiny steps are steps, and that's what matters. And yeah, exactly. I think where, by the way, most of the people fail is the realization. Is that they don't realize that they don't control the situation.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Yeah, they just overflow by feelings, and that's it. They don't see that they are not in control. And yeah, what I could say as a main advice, that realize that you have to take control over your mind. And it's also key that over your mind and not over your whole life.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And I think that we're getting to the end. Thank you for your attention. Just a quick note on the comment section. We've got a moderator for a reason. That's it. And we will have moderator in the future. No any thoughts more on that one. So I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and I hope I could just make you think a little bit about this topic, and what I could say. Just control it, guys, and also control the subscribe button as well. And if you want to get notified, then check the bell icon. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and also if you could share this podcast, that would be just miraculous. Thank you for the attention, and see you in 10 to 15 minutes or something like that.
We'll see. Thank you.